Okay, hello, I'm Letitia Harris. I am the English Learner Coordinator and also the Migrant Liaison for the Madison School District. I will explain to you our WIDA guidance and our program that we use to identify these students. In our English Learner program, we have WIDA, which has development standards that we follow, and we have our social and instructional language, we have our language of language arts, the language of mathematics, and the language of science and of social studies. With our WIDA program, we have some documents that we are required to have. First, we start off with our home language survey, which it identifies our students. And if you'd like to take time to read this, it has some information that all of the students need to have, not only just the EL students that we are looking for. And when we do have a home language survey that is sent to me, then I review it and look to see if they qualify to test in our English Learner program. Okay, this is our home language survey form that is required to be on our InfoSnap registration so that we can identify students that have a different language other than English. And when they are identified as another language, then I will review the home language survey to make sure that it may just be the parent that speaks a different language. And this is our programming flowchart that helps us with our English language learner identification and eligibility, which helps us to determine if they are to be tested or if we need to make a phone call to ask the parents if the student does speak another language. Once we review the home language survey and we have spoken with the parent, then we will administer a WIDA screener so that way we can identify them if they are needing English language support. With testing the kindergarten student, we only do paper testing, and we just do listening and speaking together, and then if they have a possible score, then we can continue on with reading and writing. And if they do reading and writing score high, then we submit their scores and it will let us know if they will screen out of the program. Students from 1 through 12, we have grade clusters and test tiers that we test these students. If they begin in the fall as first grade, then we go back and test them in kindergarten because they have not completed all of their first year. So we will start with them in the fall, and then in the spring, if they do arrive here, then we can give them a test in the first grade level, and then so forth. We go with second and third grade together, and then fourth and fifth, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. And the same with parents who have children that do qualify in our program but would not like to have their student participate. Then there is a waiver form that we send out to the parents, and they need to sign this waiver, and it has to be approved by the principal and the director of special services, for the reason that if there is no waiver that has been signed, then we can continue pulling the student. So this is for the student to either have extra help, or if the parent would not like to have them pulled from their classroom. This is a parent notification, identification, and screener form. If the student qualifies for our program, then the parent will receive this notification. And also, if the student screens out of the program, they also will need to have a notification form sent to them so they will know that their child has screened out of the program. And it is important if you read through all of these documents, because it explains why it is so important for the parent to have this notification letter. With our students who qualify for our program, we have a parent notification for continuation. These are test scores that they took in the spring, and so they are still in our program, and the parent needs to be notified each year for their student that is on our program. These are our can-do descriptors that we have for each grade level, and if a student test scores are in level 2, then we begin with level 2 beginning, and then if they're on level 3, then we begin with developing, and that's for each domain that we have for reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Our English Learner Management System is found on the state website, which is under ELMS in our English Learner program, and this is where we add the student test scores so that the state and our own district are able to have access to each of the student scores. In our program, if the student reaches an overall score of 4.2 and has 3.5 in every domain, then they will exit out of our program, and this form is to notify the parent that they are no longer in our English Learner program. We also have an exit form that is required to be in the student's CUME file to let teachers, or if they move to a different school, that they are out of our English Learner program. If you have any further questions about our English Learner program, you can reach me at the district office in special services. In our migrant program, we have our parent employment survey that each and every new student needs to have. As the same as our English Learner program, we have surveys that will identify a student if their parent works in agriculture. We do have a survey that is required for them to have, and from there we call the parents and ask them the questions of how long they've been here in our district and what is their qualifying work. This explains our migrant program of what it is and who and what makes a child eligible and our services. These are important factors of the migrant education program, the migratory children eligibility factors. This is also a form that helps us to identify the students who need services that are a priority in our school district. And they have examples and questions that you can read through that will give you those answers. If you have any questions on our migrant students, you may call me at district office in special services. Thank you and have a great day.